Maaseh ha'egel actually is the safek that they brought into their heart here, came out into lapo'al, into action in the egel. Okay? So again, the egel wasn't just like, wow, all of a sudden they just sinned? How did they do that? Right? That's the famous question. How did they do all of a sudden sin?
6 hours late.
They didn't all of a sudden sin.
Really?
There was something in the back burner in the mind. Something was ticking, always bugging them. And they never did conquer it.
Yeah, we went through this before. We said because they have a slave mentality. They never knew what it meant to have God anyway. So they never could achieve that status, no matter what you did to them.
Again. So hold on. So we're gonna see.
The people that were saved from the Holocaust, they still live in fear after.
Hold on. Okay. Listen.
Yeah, but
Wait.
I mean, like, that's
Guys. Wait. We're going off. We're going on a tangent here. Okay, listen. Okay, listen. Okay, so when we left Mitzrayim and Amalek right away gave us this little shock, it left with us an impression. And the impression that it left with us was detrimental. It ends up causing, as a root, the golden calf. Now, of course, we know that after the golden calf was what we heard of Kitisa, right? Kitisa. As an atonement of the golden calf, they were going to bring a machatzit shekel. So apparently, there must be some sort of connection between the machatzit shekel, the egel, and its root cause, Amalek. So what's the connection here? So the Tzemach Tzedek in Derech Mitzvotecha brings down that the idea of machatzit shekel. First of all, why is it called machatzit shekel? Why half a shekel? Right, that's the famous question. Why half a shekel? So of course we know the famous answers. Right, I saw it in the Dal Sheikh. It brings down that every Jew is a half, right? And when we act together, we have shleimut, we have fullness. Okay, that we know that answer, and that answer is going to have to do with what we're talking about also. We're going to see in a minute. The word mahatit, it's like a mechitza. Mechitza, right? We know it's like a separation, right? You have a mechitza in the shul that separates people on one side, people on one side. You have a mechitza. Mechitza is something that you use in order to separate things. Now, when you're cooking, let's say, so when you need to separate items, so you have a sieve, right? So it catches certain things, and other things that you don't want separates it. When you're burning silver or gold, so you burn it, and the soul that falls out, you're separating, right? So the word machatzit is a separation. So right away we know that Amalek, what did they cause for us? How did they damage us? They caused some sort of a separation. They caused a separation. What was the separation that they caused? Well, we see. They caused a separation in God's name. What was the name supposed to be? Yud Kei Vav Kei. What does that name represent? Which we just said. What does that name represent on our level? It represents Machshava, Dibur, and Maaseh. I told you, the Yud is the Chokhmah. Leave the Yud on the side for right now. The Hey is Machshava. The Vav, Dibur, and the last Hey, Maaseh. But what are the two letters that you have in that pasuk? Kiyad al case ka ya. So you have Yud and you have a Hey. Where's the Vav and the Hey? So you have a Machshava, and what's separated from the Machshava? Dibur and Maaseh were separated. So what did they do? See, a lot of times we read the story, but we didn't get what they did. What did they do? What they did was very detrimental, and it was very hit the point home. They caused the separation that when a person does a mitzvah, he'll just do a mitzvah. When he's learning a piece of Gemara, he's just learning a piece of Gemara. It's nothing more. What does it lack? Machshava. The machshava wasn't in it. When the machshava is not in it, then what are you doing? Like we've been again, the shiurs from the past few weeks, from the few months, have all been that we need to insert a machshava into our tefillah, into our tefillin, and into our talit, like we've been discussing about. Everything requires a machshava.
Is machshava just thought, or also
No. It's intent, right? So the machshava actually is interesting because if you look at it again on a different level, the yud again, the yud and the k and the vav and the k represent a lot of different things. One of the other things that it represents is chokhmah is the yud, the hey is bina. Bina, actually, if you look in the Ptach Eliyahu, right, tells you bina is related to the lev. It's related to the lev. So your machshava actually is machshavat halev. And that's why again, the korbanot, when I said you need to have intent on the korban, what did I mean? I didn't mean that you have to concentrate on where we need to shecht it. You need to lechaven et libam le'avinu shebashamayim. They had to turn their hearts to God. That was the root of a korban. To bring a korban wasn't a problem. But if the heart wasn't there, that's what I mean when there was a pagam, a psol in the machshava. I don't mean that he thought of a business deal. I mean that the fact that he thought of a business deal is one thing. But what does it tell you? That he's not connected to God. Because if he was connected to God and if he appreciated the relationship to that extent, why would he be thinking about the business deal? Because when a person is doing something that they love, every person has that particular thing that they love doing. When they're doing that thing, 99.9% of the time when they're into it, they're not thinking about anything else. So what does that tell you? That when you're into something and you're really into it, you're not thinking about anything else. So if you were really into davening and you were really into tefillin and you were really into tefillin, into talit, you wouldn't be thinking about anything else. If you realize, if you have a situation where you're not into it, then you should have to go back home and do homework. Say, well, wait a minute. If I'm not into it, why? That means I need to learn. I need to strengthen my relationship a little bit more. I need to learn a piece of Gemara better. Again, like I said, learning Gemara. Why we learn Gemara? So, we need to learn the halachot, right? We need to learn the teachings of the rabbis. It's true, but the Gemara is more than that. The Gemara is the way that Hashem is talking to us. Like I told you before, if a person learns a piece of Gemara on a certain day, he's up to let's say Daf Yud Aleph Amud Aleph. Is it any coincidence that he's learning particularly that daf for that day? No. Hashem made it that he was going to be on that daf on that day. And if you tell me, well, the guy opened up the Gemara randomly, he started opening up. Hashem made him open up to that spot. He's talking to him. He says, what you need is on this piece of Gemara. What you learned today, what I'm telling you today, is because Hashem said, you need to hear this. This is going to help you now for your going further. So the word mahatzit hints to us, it's a tikkun for what Amalek did. And now you understand why they were in refidim. Ki rafu yedehem mitzvot. Their hands were soft. What's hands? Hands is ma'asim. The ma'aseh was cut off from the machshava. So it was just ma'asim. It was just a talit. It was just a tefillin. It was just boxes. Just a piece of cloth. It was just a lulav, which is just a branch. What makes a lulav, a talit, and a tefillin? It's the machshava that a person puts behind it. Because without that, it's just a piece of cloth, a piece of leather, a piece of branch, a piece of a lemon, an etrog. So what makes it what makes it something? When you take it in your hand, it's not enough. Your heart has to be in it. And that's why, what was the tikkun against Amalek? He cut off their hands. He said that, what was their whole idea? Their whole idea was that we'll just let you do an action. Yeshua said, doing an action is not enough. Don't tell me just to do an action. Amalek says, just do the action. Forget the machshava. Don't think about it. Don't feel anything about it. You want to do a machshava? You want to do a ma'aseh? Do a ma'aseh. Fine. We ain't going to get nothing out of it. He said, wait a minute, what are you talking about? If we do a ma'aseh with nothing, then it's as if the person cut off his hands. Because then he can't do anything. Another idea of refidim. So I heard this actually on a shir from Rabbi Batsur. It's called Amalek and Tzedakah. So I didn't actually mean to hear it, but they put it on there and it played and well, I didn't know. And actually it has related to exactly what we're talking about here. He says he was talking about the trumot, donations. It was a fundraiser. It was a fundraiser for yeshiva. And he says that kirafu yadehem mitzvot, they were in refidim, refers actually not to the learning of Torah, but to the supporters of Torah. to those who are giving the tzedakah, that when it came time to cut the paycheck to the yeshiva, rafu yadei mitzvot. Okay. But I would like to take this to a different level, to where we're standing right now, which is what? What is tzedakah? I told you, tzedakah can mean a physical donation, but it can also mean the way you do a mitzvah, which is what? Connecting the yud to the k, to the vav, to the k, the chokhmat Hashem, to the machshava, to the dibur, to the maaseh. So when it says rafu yadei mitzvot, they weren't giving tzedakah. What do you mean they weren't giving tzedakah? They weren't connecting Hashem's name. They were leaving the maaseh as a maaseh. It wasn't connected to the machshava. They were leaving the dibur, the pilpul Torah. They were just arguing halachot. But was it moving their hearts? It's moving the hearts. If that's the case, then it's cut off. And that's why you have Kiyad al-Kes Yah. You don't have the full name. Amalek's whole thing was they cut the name in half. They were able to distract us from the machshava and the dibur, and from the machshava to the ma'aseh. And that's why the Machatzit Shekel is called Truma LaHashem. It's a donation. She says, what's Teruma? Teruma, Ben Yishchai brings down, Tarum Hey. Tarum Hey means elevate the Hey. Take the Maaseh and bring it back to the Machshava. Don't leave the Maaseh just dangling there. Don't leave a Maaseh, a Tefillin just as being a Tefillin. Don't leave a Talit being a Talit. Don't leave your piece of Gemara that you're arguing back and forth on as just an argument. As just we want to get to a halacha. No, we want to get to the Omek. To the Omek Deliba. We want to get to the root of the heart. Meaning, we want this halakha to influence us, our heart. What does this halakha tell us about our relationship with Hashem? Like we said many times before, that's why we've been doing the shiurim. It's because there's many halachot. But don't leave a halakha ever like just a halakha. Take the halakha into your heart. There's explanations and there's reasons behind that relate to the relationship between you and HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And that's all inside halakha. But you have to extrapolate it, you have to take it out. If you leave the halakha just as the halakha, it's just milim ba'alma, it's just words. And that's why again, kirafu yadeihem hamitzvot. Their ma'asim weren't connected to the machshava. So we had a problem here. We had a problem, big problem. I'm going to give you an idea that the Beis Chai brings down. Okay, so now we have a lot of background, right? So now we know why Teruma LaHashem. We know why it's mahatzit shekel, why it's a half a shekel, not a full shekel. I'm going to tell you what the Beis Chai brings down. He says, and this is brought down many different places he brings this down, but I saw it here as one of the places. But he says, the dots, the nikudot, are very holy. We should never, sometimes people say, oh, so I said an u instead of an a.